This is an extremely proud moment for us as we launch a very comprehensive point of view on the diagnostic sector in India. And as all of you know, healthcare is close to a $220 billion opportunity in India. And diagnostics, however, is a very small percentage of it, only about 6%, leading to a $13 billion market. And that's why it's been an extremely underpenetrated and uncovered segment within healthcare. This segment is growing very fast. It's growing at about 15% CAGR year on year. And we expect this market to be about 25 billion by FY28. And which is why we did this very deep, comprehensive and point of view, on the sector. The report is going to be out on digitally, this week, and we hope you enjoy reading it. A couple of key takeaways, I want to cover, in this short snippet. There is an extreme surge in the NCDs, population living with non-communicable diseases. India is also witnessing an aging population. We're an extremely sick population, rapid rise in urbanization. There's also a very massive underpenetration in testing. So we Indians do about 2 tests per capita per year. And this is very small compared to some of the developed markets. So if you go to US and a lot of other developed countries, they'll do anywhere between 10 to 20 tests per capita per year. The market is also extremely fragmented. So organized chains, are doing a market share gain in this segment, and they're growing the sector. There are about 150,000 plus labs in India, and majority of these are extremely subscale. And only about 15%, like I mentioned, is organized play within this. Finally, there has been a very small, less participation, in fact, of the government. So if you look at the overall healthcare, only 2% of GDP is actually, spent by the government on healthcare. In developed markets, this number could anywhere be up to 10%. However, the government has really shown commitment in the last couple of years by setting up and ramping up their presence in labs. They opened close to about 5,000 labs in the last 5 years. And they've also promised a lot of growth in the future. Now with this, out of the overall $13 billion opportunity, close to about $7.5 billion is pathology and the balance 5.5 is radiology. Both segments are growing, in middle teens growth rates, so extremely attractive segments both. One interesting thing which we should see about this is if we look at FY28, we expect about 30% of the market to be organized. And this takes it to close to about an $8 to $10 billion organized, player opportunity, which basically means that there is going to be an insurgence of newer scale players, who could be in the top 5 to 8 chains in India. The existing players hence cannot be very complacent because there's a massive headroom for growth, and only about 15 to 18% of the market is actually organized right now. If you look at the lab infrastructure, close to about 130,000 pathology labs and 50,000 plus radiology labs. And 90% of these are independent small labs, and they contribute also to a large chunk of the overall revenue. Another thing which is happening is there has been, an extreme competition on the pricing side. We do expect that the pricing will normalize. Now, we don't expect too much of price war to happen because there's already extremely low compared to global economies. And if there is anything, there'll only be price realization improvement, in the coming years with penetration into more specialized and advanced testing. Another important segment within this, which a lot of players do not and a lot of which is not very well covered, is the OEM and the supplier ecosystem. So IVD plus radiology overall, we expect it to be it is a $3.5 billion opportunity right now. We expect it to become about $5.5 billion by FY28, again mid-teens growth rate. And there's been a massive growth in this from Asian players as well as domestic players. So a lot of players are coming in and setting up local manufacturing with the government's push to localize more and more medical equipment in India. Some of the mega trends that are shaping this sector: one, there is a lot of spend on digitization across supply chain, across equipment, across SaaS. We expect a lot of M&A in organic to happen. The valuation arbitrage is positive, in M&A, and it makes sense to do, provided there is complementarity in scale, or you're buying something specialized, or buying a complementary business. A lot of players are investing into operational performance improvement. Pathology, for example, is an extremely logistics heavy business, and it makes sense to create scale and become operationally more efficient. There is also a lot of growth in the specialized and the more deeper clinical modalities like genomics, molecular, immuno, histopathology. Those spaces are growing very fast, almost at 20% plus growth rates. Also, there's a lot of consumerization of diagnostics. You're seeing patients and customers without doctor prescriptions come and book tests directly on online platforms. That's happening more and more. About 10 to 12% of the market is actually, wellness right now, and this is only expected to grow up. And a big chunk of it is actually self-initiated. That's why being close to the customer and having a direct-to-consumer connect is becoming more and more critical for labs. And there's finally, to wrap it up, there's a massive growth opportunity sitting in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. These markets have been extremely underpenetrated, and traditionally, because of low testing penetration, labs have not made economic sense, but this has changed now, right? Overall, we are extremely confident about the opportunity in the next 5 years for all participants, the hospitals, the labs, the OEMs, also the government. And we remain invested and we remain extremely bullish about this sector. With this, I want to thank all our knowledge partners, all our advisors, all our clients, to help us put this point of view together. And I sincerely hope you'll enjoy reading this report. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.